welcome to my world. I'm of course Fred Kasdan. As you know, 7 nights a week I stream live over on Twitch playing a variety of video games. The link to my Twitch channel, of course, can be found in the description below, as always. Anyway, this week we started up a couple of games. Obviously, the big game is Mass Effect Andromeda taking over for Final Fantasy 15. But Wednesdays, which has been dedicated primarily to Tom Clancy's Division 2, because there is so much to do with that game, in terms of its end game and DLC content and everything else, decided to take a break from it and give some attention to another game that is on this year's agenda, the original Gears of War. Now, I've already played Gears 4 earlier this year. In fact, it was one of the first games I played on my Xbox One as soon as I got it, because I already had the game, because it had the, purchase it on PC, get the Xbox counterpart. So this kind of worked out nicely in my favor there, to actually have a big game to play right away. So my good friend Iceman, who, if you follow the streams, the Wednesday streams, or popped into my Twitch channel, who also serves as my mod, or one of my couple of mods, to hook me up with the digital codes for Gears 1, 2, 3, and Judgment. So this way I could have the complete saga and be able to go through the games in the proper order, or at least have a better understanding of a lot of the lore and stuff that lead into Gears 4. That I was obviously really confused about, and also see why Marcus Phoenix is more of the legendary badass that he clearly is, that upon encountering that character for the first time in Gears 4. The first Gears really throws you into the proverbial mess right away, and since I'm doing this game with a right off the bat with a co-op in mind, it means going through the tutorial was a little bit of a different experience than probably most people's first time playing it. So again, I'm grateful that Iceman was there to at least give me a good understanding of the controls, because none of those prompts appear in the co-op variant of the game. And Iceman has played this the original Gears enough time to pretty much know where just about everything is, giving me a heads up. This, however, did not lead to me avoiding getting killed a few times, sometimes out of pure silliness, or just being a little bit overwhelmed with how over the top uh, this game actually is, with the enemies coming in and having to be aware of different variables that I clearly wouldn't, under normal circumstances, probably would have put me off of playing the game beyond just one night. What is it? The Berserker, the one with the that is blind, but it can hear. It has enhanced hearing and sense of smell. Needless to say, I probably would not have gotten past it without Iceman's help. Again, this is kind of amazing considering I made it through Gears 4 by myself, but Gears 1 is something unique, something special. I'm actually getting an understanding as to why this game actually got a remastered version uh, uh, a couple of years ago. So it's real interesting in that regard, at least to me. In terms of controls and responsiveness, it does seem like some of the weapons in Gears 1 in comparison to Gears 4 don't have as much range. The Lancer doesn't seem to have the range, the distance range that it, that its Gears 4 counterpart does. I don't know why that is. I am having a little bit of trouble of tracking enemies in Gears 1. For me, some of the sight lines are not as good, where I'm able to at least find natural sight lines that allow me to kind of keep us a quote unquote safe distance, because one thing I definitely learned from Gears 4 that definitely shows up in Gears 1 is the whole you don't want to let these enemies get too close at any given time. Again, that's just my point of view. So it's probably a learning experience, and trying to find that nice comfort level. Um, the fact that the NPCs part of the team, because obviously as player one hosting, I'm getting to play as Marcus, and Iceman is taking the role of Dom. That basically means that the other two members of the squad are NPCs, and the fact that they are not, that they can't or won't revive you, and the fact that you're almost in some respect probably having to escort them through missions is very much aggravating. Um, it's like if they get killed, it's okay. It's just like mission failed. It's like, which is a little bit stiff. I'm guessing their character AI isn't as bright as, as one would hope. But then again, I have to keep in mind, obviously, that this game is over nearly a decade and a half old at this point. So there is a lot of things to kind of work with. Now, I know there is the quote unquote superior version, the remastered the Ultimate Edition. Um, but I elected not to play that version from my first taste of the original Gears of War, because might as well play the original. And needless to say, there are some very unique challenges with the original Gears of War, because it's using the old Xbox 360 interface, so you can't. I at least found I have to invite my partner, my for the game, into a party first, and then invite him into the game once we're loaded into the game, which makes no sense to me at all. So in essence, it's the first multiplayer game I am playing that is using the Xbox 360 interface. And even Iceman had some trouble with it. I think he got booted at least once for he did get booted at least once, so maybe that has not quite aged well. So it's kind of making me wonder what Gears 2 and 3 are going to be like, because I believe those were also on the 360, so they're probably going to have that same interface, but I'm not completely sure. So we shall see in terms of going forward with that when we eventually get to those games down the proverbial line. All in all, we are going to stick with it. I mean, we did get through Act 1, and I'm going to assume maybe about the halfway point of Act 2. So this will probably, more likely, this game is going to be sticking around for the next several weeks. Hopefully, we'll be able to finish it. Um, and then it'll be back to Tom Clancy's Division 2 on Wednesdays for a time before maybe tagging it out for Gears 2. So, things that we are considering and so forth going forward. So with that all said, I will bring this rant, rave, and review of sorts to a close. Tighten your friendship bracelets, watch you hang down, and we'll talk to you next time.